Hey y'all, this is something I just wrote a piece for and published it on my Substack page. So please give that a look if it interests you, and I believe it should. This is one of those stories that I think is far less known than it ought to be, um, because this is a wild and crazy thing. That this was discussed in a major uh, outlet of the mainstream media, i.e., Newsweek, is incredible to me. And it just doesn't seem like it's ever really gotten that much discussion. It just, even when it came out, I don't remember people saying, "Wow, this is crazy. This sounds crazy to me. Are they really talking about doing this? This is crazy." Let's talk about it. Exclusive. This was published on March 18th, 2020. It says it was updated on October 10th, 2023. But I don't think the material that I'm going to read, which is in the first part of the article, it's a lengthy article, but what I'm going to go over is pretty much the same as what I can remember it being when I covered this story back in March of 2020. And if you're interested in looking at that video, it's over on my Andy Nowicki 2020 channel, which where I'm posting the videos that I posted in 2020, which are pertinent to the events of 2020. Those are videos that were all taken down, when my whole channel got nuked and I had to start over from scratch in late 2020 for reasons, not good reasons, but reasons. Those videos disappeared, but they're still on my phone, so I'm re-uploading them on a separate channel. So anyway, so look it up there if you're interested. Okay, so what is said here? Even as this again, this was published on March 18th, 2020, just when they were ratcheting up all the fear mongering over all the stuff that was going on back then. I'm sure you remember. But this is something that maybe you probably don't remember. Even as President Trump says he tested negative for coronavirus, the COVID pandemic, scamdemic, raises the fear that huge swaths of the executive branch, or even Congress or the Supreme Court, could also be disabled, forcing the implementation of continuity of government plans that include evacuating Washington and devolving leadership to second-tier officials in remote and quarantined regions. I mean, this is sounding so apocalyptic. Like this, the so-called COOF, this thing that had a 99% survival rate, higher than most flus. And I can say that because it's true, so fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you. If you want to say this is misinformation, fuck you from the front and from the back, because you're fucking wrong. Sorry for my bad language there, but sometimes you got to speak strongly to get a point across. So that this thing that they were hyping up as the next plague was going to disable the Capitol, disable the political leadership in the Capitol, because huge swaths of the executive branch, or even Congress, and the Supreme Court could be disabled because there'd be just that many people, either just keeling over dead or just incapacitated with this dreadful plague. Now, as I said at the time, there is such a thing as continuity. There is such a thing as chain of command. This is something I discuss in my article. This is the constitutional way that they deal with situations if a president dies or is incapacitated and can't be president, then the vice president takes over If he's gone, then was it the Secretary of the House takes over, and on down the line. There's a bunch of different positions, and it goes. The line goes down. I saw it go down 18 places. And it probably goes down even further than that. But they cover this contingency of, what if we lose the top dog, or the top dog and the number two person and the number three person, and so forth and so on. But here there's the stuff about just doing away with all that and setting up something very different, as you'll see. But coronavirus is also new territory. Oh, yes. New territory. Didn't we hear that a lot? It's the new normal. Where the military itself is vulnerable and the disaster scenario is being contemplated, including the possibility of widespread domestic violence as a result of food shortages. God, this crap they were trying to make us all go crazy with this kind of talk. Are forcing planners to look at what are called extraordinary circumstances. Blah 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 blah. You can read this. Crease quiz. That's funny. I guess I'll give the link to this article. It's interesting that it's still up. This article is still up. Still posted, which is kind of wild in and of itself. According to new documents and interviews with military experts, the various plans, these plans to circumvent. Well, maybe I should read that part. Contingency plans already exist for what the military is supposed to do if all the constitutional successors are incapacitated. So everyone just is that's what this plague is going to do. It's just going to take out everyone in the chain of command, all the way down to number 18 or lower. But the military won't be affected for some reason. The military will still, though they won't be getting sick in the military. They're going to be immune to all this stuff. For some reason, that's what we're supposed to think here. So standby orders were issued more than 3 weeks ago to ready these plans to protect Washington, but also to prepare for the possibility of some form of martial law again. Food shortages, domestic violence, and martial law. Those are the things. These are the terms they're using so frivolously and so liberally in this article. So there are code names that are so secret under these extraordinary plans. Devolution could circumvent the normal constitutional provisions for government succession, and military commanders could be placed in control around America. So again, getting rid of the whole chain of command, which is constitutional, which is a safeguard that's in the Constitution for these kinds of events, these kinds of extraordinary events. If a president is killed or incapacitated, which has happened, of course, before, lest we forget. We're in new territory, says one senior officer, anonymous. The officer jokes in the kind of morbid humor characteristic of the slow-moving disaster that America had better learn who General Terrence J. O'Shaughnessy is. He is the combatant commander for the United States that would in theory be in charge if Washington were eviscerated. That is, until a new civilian leader could be installed. So they're talking openly in this Newsweek article from March 18th of 2020. They're talking about installing a military dictator, installing someone who's not anywhere in the chain of command, and that person is Terrence J. O'Shaughnessy. All right, so then there's also all this stuff about continuity of government, which is very, very dubious stuff. Very, I mean, I don't mean dubious in the sense that they're not doing it, they're not talking about it. I just mean it's dubious in the sense of why do you need a quote continuity of government plan when you've already got chain of command? You know, it doesn't say in the Constitution that you forfeit the Constitution and let the military take over if there's even if there were a legit crisis, which I'm insisting this never was. All right, so that's I think all I want to say about that. You can look at this entire article. I'll try to remember to post it, but if I forget to post it, just type in inside the military's top secret plans if coronavirus cripples the government. Newsweek magazine. Just type that into a search engine. It'll show you this article. All right, so let me find a picture of the guy.